And now, a word from our sponsors.
We are absolutely delighted to announce that we have All Kings Competitions on board as a sponsor for Season 3 of That Sound podcast.
All Kings are Ireland's original and best online competition website.
From Ferraris to houses to cash to luxury holidays and everything in between, All Kings have got you covered at great prices, great value. They can't be beat.
Check out All Kings on all social media platforms.
Thank you.
On this week's episode of That Sound podcast, we are going to do an album review of Pearl Jam's Versus album, the second album by the band. Today we have the pleasure of being joined by two Pearl Jam super fans, Robbie Keenan and David Caffrey. How are you, lads?
Not a bother, Gavin.
How you doing, Gav? All good?
Great to have you with us today. So I'm going to read out some facts about the album and then we'll get into the tracks and we'll have a bit of crack and see what we like, we don't like, or our little 2 cents on it. So Pearl Jam's Versus album is the second studio album by the American rock band Pearl Jam, released on October 19th, 1993 through Epic Records. After a relentless tour schedule in support of their debut album 10, of course, in 1991, Pearl Jam headed into studio in early 1993, facing the challenge of following up to the commercial success of its debut 10. The resulting album, Versus, featured a rawer and more aggressive sound compared with 10. It was the band's first collaboration with producer Brendan O'Brien and its first album with drummer Dave Appersays. Hope I said that right. So it was recorded in 2 studios, the Site and Potato Head studio, I believe. Is that right, lads?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it broke a record at the time for selling the most albums on its first week, I believe. It was 950,378 sales in its first week.
Yeah.
First 5 days, I think, wasn't it?
First 5 days, was it?
It was 5 days, yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal. I think it's gone on to, it's very hard these days to put a number on sales with streaming and everything, but I think it's over 7 million, I think, this album.
Yeah, it's amazing, yeah. 7 million, imagine.
Yeah. It reached the US Billboard 200, number 15 it got to, which is there's a lot of stuff in there. No matter, like in the early 90s, Jesus Christ, we all know albums. There was a lot of stuff coming out between Pearl Jam and Rage, and then there was other pop stuff and alternative stuff, and there was loads of stuff coming out. But the album length was 46 minutes 11 seconds. There was 4 singles: Go in October 25th, 93, Daughter in November 2nd, 93, Animal April 4th, 94, and Dissident May 16th, 1994. One thing I found out, by you might be able to speak about it, is the style at which Brendan O'Brien produced this album is they went track by track individually, I believe. And when they recorded each track, it was mastered as they went through it.
Yeah. That was the first time the band worked with Brendan O'Brien.
Yes.
And they completed every song completely through before they went on to the next. And that was the first time they'd done that. And I think in general, I think that the band, I know there were different interviews over the years, and when they talk about that, I think they found that a step forward from how they recorded 10 at the time.
Right. Yeah. It was an unusual. But Brendan O'Brien, they've stayed with him for a long time then after that album, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And I'm going to cheat here now, but I know he's worked with some serious albums as well as Pearl Jam. Did he work with Rick Rubin or someone at one stage?
Not sure.
Yeah, he may have. I don't know. We'd have to check that.
I'm gonna cheat here now because I meant to have this down. But AC/DC, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, Chili's. That's right. He done the Blood Sex Magic album with the Chili's.
Right.
And that was Rick Rubin too, was it?
That was with Rubin. That's the one. I knew there was a connection there somewhere. He done some work with Springsteen, Korn, Limp Bizkit.
Apparently, he's a serious guitar player.
Right.
I've heard that. I've heard he's a serious guitar player, O'Brien himself.
He's 64. I don't know why I thought he'd be older.
Yeah. Wow.
Gonna go a long time, isn't he?
Yeah, like Jesus Christ. But then you also might be able to talk a bit more on this. I know Vedder was not very happy with I believe it was the site studio when they were recording the album.
I think it was a bit too luxurious for him, wasn't it? Too homely and comfortable. And
Yeah. I read somewhere like he went out to his car to fucking sleep in it to just try and get that rawness, that feel. He's like, how do you expect me to write Anton? This is too polished, too nice.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they really struggled. I think he really struggled after, I think they done the first, the first recordings or what would you say, the first rehearsals in Potato Head Galleria in Seattle, but I think that was very short lived, and then they went out to the place you're talking about in California. I think he took himself off after a while, didn't he, Robbie? And
I think so. Yeah,
it wasn't coming. It wasn't. Yeah, the songwriting wasn't coming from.
No, I think so. It was too comfortable. He needed to get out of his comfort zone, and
I think he went
bring
into
back a bit of anger and stuff.
Was it San Francisco? I think he went into for a while, and I think that's where I know WMA. I think he's seen something there that kind of triggered that. That song. I think.
Yeah. I did hear that, and I also heard that like you said, when they first started recording, they banged out Go and was it Real
Leash, Blood?
Leash it was, and Blood. They came very fast. And
That's
it was a funny story I heard that the guitar riff for Go was written by the drummer, Dave.
That's right.
Very, very true, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like we can get into, we can just read out the lineup, of course. Eddie Vedder, Mike McCready, Stone Gossard, Jeff Ament, and Dave Abruzzese. The artwork, I don't know, I'm sure you are familiar as super fans that Jeff Ament took that picture.
That's right. He took that picture in Montana on the cover. Yeah. It's a sheep.
Yeah, it was trying to represent how the band felt.
Trapped.
Yeah. And one thing I learned, and that's one of the things I loved about this podcast, is learning new things about the 5 against 1. That lyric. And like some people might say it's about a certain thing that you might think, but it's really, well, I don't know. It's up for debate, but it's basically against the record companies. Like, well, it's 5 against 1. We'll do what we want, kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Same with the album name Versus too, wasn't it? Like it was all our band versus your band, and it was all against Pearl Jam kind of thing. And
me and Robbie are still searching for the when the Versus was a very last minute change in the title, and the record company had already printed cassettes with 5 against 1 as the title on the actual cassette itself. So I think there's I for some reason in my head I have, and I could be completely wrong here, but I have a figure of I think maybe 900 or 1,000 cassettes actually got out there with that name on it. Yeah. So if you can get one of them, you're doing well.
Yeah, I was just going to say
send it to you, Dave.
They'd be worth a few bob now, them. So do you just want to get into the tracks, or have you any other insights about the album you'd like to talk about?
Well, just go for the tracks, will we?
We go straight into the tracks. So overall, right, I'll ask you yourself first, Robbie, how much of a change? Obviously, there is a change, but from 10 to this album, what do you see before we go into the tracks? You'll say
a lot more anger, a lot more punk rock. For me, on Pearl Jam albums, the first 2 songs are the best 1-2 of any of the Pearl Jam albums. I think it's just when you see them live, especially at the opening of a gig, you're in for a good set. Like it's just top class. A couple of ballads thrown in. Indifference at the end, probably one of my favorite Pearl Jam tracks. Stunning,
brilliant track.
Yeah, great album. Hard to pick a bad song on it.
Yeah, it really is. And funny, I was listening to it the other evening, and there was some of the tracks. I believe it might have been Blood, and was it Rats or was it Leash? There's a lot of kind of really prominent bass lines and almost kind of slightly funk. You could nearly,
yeah. Definitely a bit of funk in it too. Yeah.
But as for the guitarists and bass guitarists, McCready's fucking savage.
Nice. He's so underrated. You never hear him mentioned in a top 100, let alone top 10. He's a beast on a guitar.
He's unreal, and I couldn't agree more. He definitely is underrated. And even with Jeff as well, and some of the bass and a lot of it. And overall, the drumming. What about, I'll ask the two of you now, Matt Cameron or Dave Abruzzese?
Dave, you want to jump in there?
It's so tough because I mean, it depends on what way you kind of asking that question, if you know what I mean. Like ultimately, like I think you'd have to say, look, at Matt Cameron has been there since Yield, and he's
He's
so solid.
perfection, isn't he? Like,
He's so solid and consistent, and but I think that Abraziz's energy and what he brought to the band was incredible. I mean, his stamp is just all over Versus. I mean, look at WMA. Like WMA is just unbelievable.
one of the best.
One of the best. Like, and I think he's right up there, like Abraziz, as like that's
Energy wise and rawness. Just Aberdeen all
incredible.
day. Perfection, you're talking Cameron, like.
Yeah.
So
and he hits hard too, doesn't he?
Oh,
very, very.
He hits hard. Yeah, he hits hard.
Yeah.
I presume you've seen both drummers live.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see Abraziz. Abraziz was gone in '94. I didn't see him.
Okay.
Slane,
was it?
Yeah, got him at Slane.
What year was that, Robbie?
93.
Oh, Jesus, in the prime, man.
Wow.
Say that was lethal.
Top class, yeah. Then he didn't come back here till 96, so it was a bit of a turk.
Right, we'll leave that. We'll get into the tracks and we'll go back with the history then. So go, as I said, Robbie, you nailed it. First two tracks, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, a cool bit that maybe some people don't know. As I said, the guitar riff was written by Dave, the drummer, which is kind of highly unlikely on a lot of bands. Very good song. So it's better live though.
Yeah.
The album is brilliant, but like compared to fucking hearing it live on the stage, it's night and day. To me, anyway.
I think I'd actually think Go is almost, I think it's nearly my favorite hard rock Pearl Jam song. Like, I think it's my favorite song. It's just incredible. It just grabs you and you don't have a choice. You have to go with it. Like
it kind of lets you off a little bit, and then it just pulls you back, and then just go and pulls you back. It's class.
Brilliant. And especially lately they brought back the intro when they're playing it live.
Yeah,
they dropped that for a few years, but it's a lot better when you get the intro and it's the guitar screeching up and then bang.
Oh, unreal. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Yeah, Goosebumps is right, Robbie.
Yeah.
So good. And then rolls into, like you said, Robbie, like Animal. Jesus Christ, lad. Like, what a song. An Animal. And McCready's solo in this song. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's pure shredding, like, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely class. And I read somewhere that was originally meant to be an instrumental.
Is that right?
I read that during the week now. I hope I'm right, but I was down the rabbit hole doing a bit of research, and I did hear originally it was meant to be an instrumental. So
interesting. Yeah.
I hope I'm right on that one. The lyrics, of course, that, as we said, that, you know, what does he say at the start? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, all that crack. Again, I only learned that this week. I think it's quite interesting. Rolls into Daughter. Then I really like Daughter as well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really cool. And then it's kind of sad when you actually listen to the lyrics. Like, it is a sad, like, story as such. As Vedder is such a good storyteller in all his songwriting. But you know, when you take it for just the song and don't go too deep, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it was so well written as well. I think even for the fact you guys to be able to comment more, it's like hearing that live again. You know, that interaction with the song, with the crowd, and the crowd sings back, and it's such a good song live.
Yeah, it's amazing. When they do, they generally over the years, and it's kind of morphed into different songs. But I love when they play Daughter and then put the WMA tag onto the end, so Daughter just flows into WMA, and it just it's fucking incredible. Like it's amazing when they do that tag live.
Glorified G. Then, what do you think?
Cracker.
Yeah.
I love the story of Glorified G.
Tell us. You tell us. I have it here, but you go ahead.
So they're in the studio and they're recording, and Amen mentions something about Abraziz having bought a gun, and Vedder's there, and Vedder's like, you know, basically, you know, is that true? Did you buy a gun? And Abraziz responds back, in fact, I bought 2. and something about it's okay because he believes in God. So these are the actual lyrics that's in the song.
Yes, 100%.
That was actually the conversation that they had. So I thought that so cool. Like,
Very funny, yeah.
Yeah, it's class. Yeah, I love that.
Brilliant.
It's obviously an anti-gun song, and then that
Yeah.
story is kind of like taking the piss out of him, which is kind of funny. I like that.
It's interesting, maybe too. And look, you can probably go too deep in these things too, but even just that little snippet, and there's lots of other probably snippets like that around that, where you get the sense or you get the feeling that Vether and Aberzees were in very different kind of places, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Vether was very reclusive and trying to
yeah,
shy away from the limelight and everything else. Whereas Aberzees, I wouldn't say he was going out there buying bloody Ferraris, but he was enjoying himself, like, and I think that clashed between them, like, in some way,
That's a great comment. Yeah, like the last thing you'd ever hear, I can imagine. I don't know Eddie Vedder, but the last thing I can imagine him is going out to a gun shop and buying guns. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it was even the fact when they were touring the second album and they were staying in better hotels, and Aberzees was like, fucking hell, we're in like 5-star hotels, whereas the other guy would rather sleep out in his van.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good
tune. Dissident then.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And
it's amazing.
Story. I love the lyrics again. It brings you on a ride about a certain situation. We're bringing a guy in and then handing them in, but like just the melody of that song and the way it comes in. I love the guitar and the drums. It just the feel of that song.
Yeah, the feel of the song is brilliant, isn't it? Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just flows, great tune.
I love what they've done with the single release as well. So they've done, I think there's a couple of different versions, but there's a live was it live in Boston, Robbie? Was that
Atlanta? Was it Atlanta? It was one of the money that had 3 CDs, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 CDs
and they covered the whole live gig over the 3 CDs.
Yeah, they covered the whole live gig over the CDs, which was brilliant, like,
And a hell of a show.
And a hell of a show. Yeah, hell of a show.
I don't think there's ever been a bad Pearl Jam show.
No, probably not.
I feel like I think I was counting up today. I think I've seen them 3 times live, and I've never seen them in Ireland.
Right.
We can get into that at the end, but yeah,
I'll have to fix that at some stage.
It's brilliant. They're so good live. Into WMA, you both said you love it. Am I right in saying that stands for white male American?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was a coloured friend of Eddie's. He seen a bit of a conflict with the police, and he went out to help, and he got shunted away. And
yes.
Yeah, the song. Yeah.
One thing I want to say is, and I presume you will both agree with me, right? This album was done in 1993. But all them tracks that we've even gone far, we're only up to number 6, right, halfway through. They're also relevant in today's world.
Well, when you look at the subject matter on each one, it's incredible. Like,
it's unreal. It's unbelievable.
Looking at everything from all kinds of abuse and all kinds of social issues and
like daughter, animal, like record companies are the biggest fucks going. We all we can only imagine what it's like. Go dissident. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's not a nice thing to think about, but it just kind of triggered in my head there. If you think that song, Gav, was wrote in 93, a bit like Glorified G, obviously an anti-gun song, and ways like when you think about the amount of people who have actually lost their lives in America because of guns since then, and it's incredible that the band were protesting that back in 93, and really what's changed since then, really? Not a whole lot of that, and it's got worse.
Worse, yeah. But yeah,
incredible, like, they had their finger on the pulse so early, like,
Yeah, 100%, yeah. And cops and corruption and everything. And it's still as bad as ever, I'd imagine. Into Blood then. What's your take on Blood?
Best 2.5 minutes live you'll ever have.
Unreal.
Right. Yeah.
It's a tasty one. It's a great tune.
Yeah, that's the kind of one with a bit of funk in it, isn't it? There's a bit
and he better just lets leash on that one. He just goes.
Yeah. It's a fan favorite, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't get played often enough, but it's a cracking tune. Like, probably one of their heaviest songs. Probably is their heaviest song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of grungy, isn't it? Funk and hard Rogers, everything in it, everything. But his delivery as well, his vocals on that are very good.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Love that lyric, fucking circus.
Yeah. Like, they didn't give a shit. Like, they didn't care. I love that about them.
Wow.
Into Rear View Mirror. Like, it's probably one of the more well-known songs, but I don't give a shit if
what can you say about that song?
Like, you know, where some bands, I don't think you can ever overplay that song.
No, it's definitely one of those signature tunes. Like,
yeah, but like, if you're fucking 2.5 hours into a concert, a couple of beers in you, cracks good, and that's coming on in the set, man, you're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah. Like, they could go from maybe 2 or 3 quiet songs and say nothing, and just bang down, and you're away. Like, it's just up and down. It's a roller coaster. Like.
Yeah, it's class, and I love the lyrics as well. Kind of just saying, "Fuck you," I'm just here. See you, leave you.
Oh, it's a big middle finger, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's a big F you to whoever you want to. Class. It'd be up in me top 2 or 3, I'd say, in the whole album. We can maybe get into that at the end.
Am I right in saying it wasn't a single either, wasn't it? Not. It wasn't.
No.
It was. Did the Frogs do a B-side of it on Immortality on Vitalogy? Didn't they? I think Rearview Mirror is a B-side played by the Frogs and acoustic guitar on
it's possible.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah.
Cool.
But imagine that. Just imagine like we're just talking about how good that song is, and it wasn't even a bloody single.
Like,
incredible. Like,
yeah. I probably have. We can get into that at the end. So into number 9, then Rats. Cool track as well.
Yeah, really cool,
isn't it? It's a bit different than some of the other ones, isn't it?
Yeah, a little nod to Michael Jackson too.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah,
and the two of us need look. And is that right? I've heard that before, and I'm never sure if that is that.
Apparently, yeah.
We've
seen them in the O2 in London in 2009 when Jackson was supposed to be on his
on his thing.
shows, and Ed come out and said, "Look, we're here tonight, but some other guys should be here tonight, and we're going to dedicate a song." And he played Rats as well. You know, so there has to be some touch. Plus, he was big into the Motown as well, so there's obviously a bit of an influence as well. You know,
that's cool to hear.
It's a rare song to hear live. It's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, it's a hidden gem on the live set. Okay. Elderly woman behind the counter in a small town. Yeah, I like this one too.
Good crowd interaction live as well. Good song.
It's a story as well, isn't it? I love how a song can kind of pick you up and just, carry you through the song and just drop you back off at the end.
It's a great one live. The crowd really gets into it live.
Oh,
It's an anthem almost, if you kind of know what I mean. The way
yeah, definitely. I think
it's the longest title as well, isn't it? In the of any Pearl Jam song, I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And am I right in saying that it's a similar story to Once, isn't it? On 10, is it somehow related? The lyrics I've read, it's the same kind of concept that someone got left behind and they're in the same town. I could be wrong. I did read that.
I'm not sure. I think he was talking about some woman that was working in a shop all her life in the same town, never left, and then years on, an ex-lover come in or something like that she recognised 30 or 40 years ago, and something along the lines of that, I think it was.
Yeah, I heard that story, and then something I read that maybe there was some lyrics in Once that kind of might have corresponded with, but maybe not. Leash, then another big fan favorite.
Yeah,
what a song!
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah,
I think that was one that was captured on the first, wasn't it? On the first.
Yeah, it's got a lot of play on the first tour as well, the first album. So
right.
I think it was around. Yeah,
and it was one of the first ones finished on, wasn't it?
I think so.
Top 2 or 3, I believe, it was in there with Go. I think. Brilliant.
I think it nearly made the 10 album, but they decided not, that it just didn't fit the mold, so they held on to it. I think.
Okay, and then Robbie, as you said, maybe your favorite song, Indifference.
Oh, absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's a powerful song. It's really good. It's a perfect way to end a kind of an angry kind of fuck you album to a lot of people. Kind of just cradles you back at the end and says, okay.
It's funny when I hear that song or I think about that song, I go, you nearly go right back to when you were 14, 15 years old. You're sitting at home in your room listening to Indifference, and you can get the whole thing comes rushing back, that kind of way. It's mad.
Yeah. It's so, like, we've said it numerous times on the podcast here, like, music is the closest thing to a time machine that you'll ever get.
Yeah.
True. Yeah,
100%.
You can even, I know people have come on before and says, certain smells I can remember. Say, like, if see if you were down some fucking river where you weren't meant to be drinking cans or something, and you're drinking a can that you're pretending, oh yeah, this is lovely, and someone has a radio and it's about, oh, remember we drank them cans of hop, Jesus Christ. but it does. If music has that.
Oh, Jesus, without a doubt, big time. Yeah,
brilliant. So, lads, I'm going to hit you with a tough question. Give me your top 3 from this album.
Top 3 songs?
Yeah. And if you had to skip one, what would it be?
Ooh.
Oh, fuck. Robbie, do you want to go first?
Well, I'm going to go WMA, Indifference, and Go. One I would drop if I was pushed, Elderly Woman.
Okay.
Controversial, but
interesting.
Good choice, I think. Good choice. I'd have to go WMA, and I'd have to put Go in there as well. And Rearview Mirror, I think. So Go, Rearview Mirror, and WMA for me. And if I had to skip one, I think actually I'd probably be in Robbie's camp there. I think, and even though that's mad, I'm saying that, but I think if I was going to skip one, I think it would be Elderly Women, probably. But yet, it's a song I love live.
yeah. That's a tough one. Look, you could ask this question next week and you'd have 3 different ones.
Yeah. 100%.
I think I'd go Animal, Rearview Mirror, and probably Go. And I know that's probably like the most obvious ones that people will probably always go for. And one I'd skip, again, I love this album. Have to be careful here with 2 super fans. I'm going to go Glorified G.
Oh, really? Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, again, I love all these, but so maybe like that, and maybe it's because I haven't really got into this album in a long time, and I've only really got back. Like, you know how yourself, like certain songs will come and go to you, but like it's a very tough question on this album because this album is a fucking 10.
Yeah, it is.
10 out of 10, 100%. Yeah.
Now here's a tougher question: 10 or versus?
Fuck. Wouldn't want a gun to your head, would you?
It's only.
I'm going to go versus.
Okay. You're not the first super fan.
I'm picturing myself on a desert island, and I'm kind of going, can I live without listening to Go again, or can I live without listening to Even Flow again? And I'd have to. I'm sorry. I'm taking verses. I have to.
Really?
I have to. Yeah, I have to.
And another question would be: how many songs of 10 would make it onto verses? When you think about it, if you went track for track.
For me?
No, any of us. It's
open forum here.
You've even Flow against Animal. You have.
Jesus.
See, the challenge. It's a great question. I think the difficulty with it is there's such a different sounding. It's 2 completely different sounding albums.
Yeah, one lad said to me,
if you were to rip out one and put it in, well, how would it sound? I don't know.
It wouldn't balance at all. Like,
it probably wouldn't. Like, yeah.
No.
Pearl Jam had the whole life to put, not the whole life, but the whole, we'll say, start of the career to get 10 together. Like, you didn't have that time with verses, and they still come up with a fucking cracker. Like, Jesus, I'm just looking at 10 here. I'd have to. I'm sorry, lads. I would have to have Release.
I love it. Yeah, 100%. And Black.
I'd have to have Release in there.
But Release against Indifference, it's a tough call.
Yeah, but even, swap for swap, where you could pick and choose, like, let's just say in opposition and tracks, like the first couple of songs in 10, that's a very tough question. I'd say I'd have to get Release in.
Yeah.
Possibly Garden.
Yeah, Garden's amazing.
Black as well. Once, I fucking love Once.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
That's a great question, Robbie. I'd say I definitely have to have 3 in. I could swap 3. I could swap 3.
Yeah.
But now, if you ask me, now I am a fan of Pearl Jam. As I said, I've seen them 3 times, and that's very small numbers to you boys, I'm sure. I seen them in Bonnaroo in Tennessee. I seen them in Madison Square Garden, and I seen them last year in Madrid.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I believe there was close to 100,000 people in the festival in Bonnaroo in Tennessee. It's kind of like a Glastonbury in America. It was fucking insane. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And he probably had them all in the palm of his hand.
He had every one of us in it. Like he's such a stage man. Like he just like a fucking orchestra of 100,000 people. He can make you do whatever the hell you want. If you're in a shitty mood and you walk into that field, you're not leaving in a shitty mood. I don't care how stubborn you are, you're not leaving in a shitty mood.
Yeah.
And he has to do nothing, only stand there. Like, he just makes it look so fucking easy. Like, he's.
Yeah.
And you know what? I only recently watched in the last 2 months the Chicago DVD in fucking what a show that is, man.
Yeah.
Like how much
Were you at that, Dave?
Which year was that?
The one that they made the DVD of. I only recently watched it on me, dad.
Chicago.
Yeah, it was a whole build up to the White Sox winning the baseball.
Oh yes, Let's Play 2.
Sorry. Yes, no, I wasn't at that. That was the Let's Play 2.
Let's Play 2. Yeah,
that was 2018, wasn't it, Robbie? Am I
think
right?
it was. Yeah.
That was a phenomenal show, though. Like the whole build up and him in with the players and
amazing.
And I always remember, because I fucking love Release, special enough to me. But I remember there's a guy queuing, and he's queuing for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And he's telling a story about his dad dying. And Feder comes down, man. Like fucking Theo come in me blowing my shit in himself. Anyone fucking sees me. But man, it was 10 seconds of Vedder's life made that lad's fucking world.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And he's singing to him and he's looking at him.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
He's actually on the Pearl Jam Ireland page with us. He's a doctor in America.
No way.
Yeah, John Evans. Not his name, John Evans, Dave, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. It sounds familiar. Yeah.
Fair play to him. Yeah, he camped out and I remember the Pearl Jam boys were up on top of the bar and they're kind of doing a kind of a pre-rehearsal and.
Yeah. And Murphy's. Oh, not. Sorry, is it?
Yeah, the bleachers. Yeah, Murphy's the bleachers.
Yeah.
So, boys, tell us numbers. How many times have you seen them?
Dave?
Is it 32, I think? Is it 31, 32? Something like that?
I think I'm at 37 or 8.
Okay. That's...
But I mean, we missed a few gigs in the last couple of years and we cancelled that we were there for, but it happens. You just get on with it.
Have you seen them? I know, Robbie, you've seen them well over Europe and that. Have you done America? Have you done any other continents? Or?
I've done Madison Square Garden twice. Dave's been over a few times, haven't you, Dave?
I've been over a few times to America as well. Yeah. Boston and Chicago. Yeah, and Nashville now. We're going to Nashville now in May. So looking forward to that.
Nashville's a hell of a city.
Yeah, looking forward.
Robbie, what year were you in Madison Square Garden?
06. No, what is it? 16. I haven't the wall there. Hold on. 16 was it? Yeah, May 16. I think it was 2 nights.
I think he went in 11. I think it was around 10, maybe 2010, 11.
It would have been 10. Yeah, you got the one where. Yeah, good show that.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was class. I remember that. It was freezing. It must have been winter. I just remember coming out fucking freezing. But they're a phenomenal band and they've been on the road a long time and they've had ups and downs and that. But like, Jesus, I definitely. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see them as I said in Dublin this year, but I did catch them in Mad Cool Festival in Madrid, and I think there was 80,000 at that again.
Yeah, there would be. Amazing.
Amazing show. I don't know. I'd safely say the numbers that you guys have seen them, like there's no bad show.
No,
I can't. I don't genuinely don't remember a bad show.
And also,
it's all about the crack. You meet so many people at every gig. Like it's crazy.
Brilliant crack.
Like we had two full bus loads from our wee group going to Dublin, and it was the crack on the bus itself. She took out.
Like definitely an away trip. We'd say away trip to win a gig is a different gravy. I think.
Yeah. Get away when you can.
But the buzz every minute. The buzz is 90. Like it's just great crack.
Yeah, like we got Metallica over in Madrid as well, like in 2 nights, and myself and Luke, who do the podcast with, we big fans of music, but big Metallica fans, obviously. But just walking around the middle of Madrid and just being surrounded by fucking boys and t-shirts, be that Pearl Jam, be that Metallica, be that whoever.
You can't beat it, can you?
Oh, you rock up and you sit you rock. I like say Luke might have been kipping or something. You go for a walk and you sit down and you're just having a fucking beer. Some lad walked over to me from fucking Austria. Metallica, sit down and have a beer. Next minute, you're still chatting to these people. Like it's the fucking beauty.
But the amount of friends and people that you meet and make friendships with because of Pearl Jam, true Pearl Jam shows is just unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, like people you come really close to, like it's
lifelong friends,
lifelong friends, like it's amazing. Unfortunately, I had to meet you, Robbie, but sure, look, you can't win them all, like. But
don't worry, Dave. I mind you.
At least he's in Gavin. At least he's over there in Baileybury. He can't do too much harm. Hey,
yeah, more than one Gavin person on the night, Dave.
Oh,
I got the visa to Gavin a few years ago. I got the papers. Could nearly throw a stone to Robbie now if I get a good enough run at. Maybe he could throw one down on me. He's up higher.
Never going to throw things.
But boys, it's been an absolute pleasure, and maybe down the lane we could come on again and maybe go through some of the Pearl Jam albums.
Delighted.
Best of luck on your trip too, Robbie. You're going on a very cool holiday soon.
Going to Seattle in April, yeah.
Oh, it'll be amazing, Robbie. Amazing.
Yeah. Looking forward to Mecca.
Are you doing London Bridge?
I have it booked, yeah.
Oh, good man. You'll really enjoy that. That's incredible.
Yeah. You've done all that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to get you back on for a chat and a catch up. Maybe another album. That's good.
Before you go, Gav, did you just one other thing? Just on, if you go back to verses for a second, which I read it there the other day, and I'd forgotten it, but it just was amazing when I read it, and I was like, bloody hell! So like, Better Man was recorded as part of that album, and it was deliberately left off it, and Whipping was recorded as part of that album as well. And Hard to Imagine, they played with the idea of putting Hard to Imagine onto the album, but they decided not to in the end. But when you think about Better Man, the song that Better Man is, and it just sat on the shelf, like, and obviously
I think Crazy Mary was in that set list too, or that session, wasn't it?
I think it was in around that time. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah,
it's in the deluxe album, isn't it?
It is on the. It is. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But you just think of that, like, it's incredible. I think Vedder didn't want it on because it was. I think Brandon O'Brien, as soon as he heard it, he knew they had a hit, and I think he kind of said to guys, "Listen, this is incredible," and Vedder just went, "Well, it's not going on the album then."
Keep that in your back pocket.
Huh?
Unreal.
He wanted to release it as the first single or something, Dave, wasn't it? And he says, "No, it's not even going on the album or something like that." He's just
she didn't even make any videos, Robbie, for it.
No,
that's right. There was no video, no PR, no nothing. There was
nothing.
Keep it mysterious and keep people wondering. And look at that shit works, like 7 million albums. Fucking
And they released it on vinyl a week before it was released on any other format. Versus, and they've done the same with Vitalogy as well. And Vitalogy came out. I think the Vitalogy might have even come out for a longer period. It could have been maybe 2 weeks before. But definitely with Versus, it was released a week before on vinyl. Cool. Before any other format, like, you know.
Vitalogy is up next, so we might tackle that one next.
We'll tackle it next. Another good album.
Right. Well, this podcast has been brought to you by All Kings and Defy Sports. Check them out. Again, boys, talk to you soon.
Gavin, thank you, Dave. Chat to everybody.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
We are proud to announce that we have Defy Sports with us again for Season 3. Of course, Defy Sports are an Irish company who design sports merchandise. From your local Gaelic team to your soccer team to your cycling team, they will design everything that you need in your club, from bags to jerseys to shorts to socks. And what else, Luke?
Defy also offer merchandise for musicians. They will design merch for any band, singer-songwriter, any society, clubs, whatever you need merchandise for, they can accommodate you.
And you can find Defy at defy.ie or on all social media platforms.